Phoenix, and welcome back to another episode of my Fit 411. And today we're going to talk about 4 diet foods that can make you fat. Okay, these are 4 foods that you guys are going to the grocery store and you're stocking up on them because you think that these are foods that you should be eating a lot of if you're trying to lose weight, or maybe these are foods that you should be replacing with your current foods if you're trying to lose weight. Now, overall with this video, I want you to take home this point. This is the most important point that I want you to take home from this video. That, okay, when it comes to food, especially diet food, but food in general, you always want to read the nutrition facts and the ingredients on the label, okay? Because that's where you're going to get the full picture on what your food is made of and whether it's something that you should be eating if you're trying to lose weight or if you're just trying to eat healthy overall. Now, I'm not saying that these foods that I'm about to name in this video are foods that you should not be eating at all. That's not what this video is. That's not what I'm trying to convey in this video. What I'm trying to convey is that you want to read the nutrition facts, because at the end of the day, I love food and I know you guys love food too. And I think we're all adults here, so we should be able to eat whatever we want. That said, in order to make an informed decision about whether you should be eating a particular food to lose weight, the onus is on you to read the nutrition facts and the ingredients on the label. Okay, so that's my spiel. I'm getting off my soapbox right now. And now let's get into these 4 foods. So food number 1 is going to be one of the top foods that everyone reaches for when they're trying to lose weight: yogurt. Okay, you see it pretty much in every single women's fitness magazine, how you should be eating yogurt, how yogurt is awesome, and yogurt is awesome. I love yogurt, especially Greek yogurt. I'm a big fan of Greek yogurt because it's high in protein. Yogurt is one of those foods where if you're looking for something that's protein packed, awesome food, okay? The problem though with yogurt is that some manufacturers, when they're processing the yogurt, when they're making it for you, okay, so in all these different varieties like chocolate flavored yogurt, coconut flavored yogurt, yogurt with fruit on the bottom, what have you, you've got all these varieties of yogurt. And the problem comes into play when some manufacturers start slipping in certain ingredients into your yogurt that may be causing issues for you when you're trying to lose weight, namely sugar, okay? Sugar is one big thing that gets added into yogurt in order to enhance the flavor, because as you know, yogurt is naturally tart and we have big old sweet tooths in this country. So food manufacturers want to cater to our sweet tooths and then they add in yogurt. Not all food manufacturers, but some do, okay? So in the case of yogurt, you've picked up something that you think is a diet food. You think this is an awesome diet food. I should be eating a ton of this. However, if you're picking up something that has a ton of sugar pumped into it, it's no longer a diet food. What it is dessert. Okay, and it's definitely not something that you should be eating a ton of if you're trying to lose weight. It's really no different than eating like a slice of cake in some cases with some brands of yogurt that slip in a ton of sugar. Okay, so you want to be very, very careful about your yogurt. And just as a rule of thumb, I say with your yogurt, if there's more sugar than protein in your yogurt, that isn't something that I would consider a diet food. If it's something that you just want to eat, maybe as a cheat meal or just as a, regular food, go and have it. But it's definitely not a diet food if it has more sugar than protein in it, okay? So that's it. Number 1, yogurt. Number 2 are protein bars, or as we all call them, like meal replacement bars, right? So protein bars are awesome, once again, because they're high in protein and they're great in a cinch. So if you work long hours, if you don't have time to run and take your lunch break, protein bars are great. You can just grab one out of your bag, knock one down and you're good to go. Now, the problem with protein bars is that protein bars tend to be very calorie dense. And what I mean by that is protein bars tend to have a lot of calories relative to their size. Now, the ton of the calories tends to come from the protein because protein bars are supposed to be protein packed. However, in some cases with protein bars, just like yogurt, some of those calories, or a lot of those calories, are sometimes coming from sugar. So you have to be careful about the types of protein bars that you buy. Pay attention to how much sugar. Once again, just like yogurt, there should be more protein than there is sugar in that bar. And if there isn't, then you are eating a candy bar. You are not eating a protein bar. Another thing that you want to pay attention to is the calorie content of your bar. So this is what typically happens when people get protein bars. They may go out and get a protein bar that's relatively small for the amount of calories that they're getting, okay? And that's what I mean by calorie dense. So you get this small bar, and sometimes let's say you eat one of those bars. That's not enough. So you eat a second one, maybe a third one. Let's say one protein bar is 300 calories. Okay, add all that up. You ate 3 bars, and that is 900 calories that you've eaten in one sitting. Okay, and if you're trying to lose weight, let's say you are a woman trying to lose weight, and for your whole day, you know you should only be eating about 1700 calories. That one sitting of protein bars, you've eaten more than half of what you're supposed to eat in the whole day, okay? So that's where the problem comes in. People don't count the calories. They eat a ton of these protein bars, and they think they're doing good by themselves because protein bars are a diet food, a healthy food. And before you know it, you've eaten more calories than you're supposed to in a day. And as you guys know, weight loss comes down to calories in, calories out. So if you eat more calories than you burn, you're going to put on weight. Okay. So that's what happens with a lot of people that don't count their calories when they're eating protein bars. All right. So keep that in mind with protein bars. Count your calories, pay attention to the sugar. Next diet food is low fat dressing. Okay. Now this is low fat or fat free dressing. So this is a big trap that a lot of people fall into. I would say the majority of people fall into this trap. All right. So when you're dieting, naturally you start eating more greens, more, leafy greens, more salads, and you want something to razzle dazzle that up a bit. So you go for the dressing. Now, a lot of people hold this misconception that eating fat is going to make you fat. And that is absolutely false. Eating fat is not going to make you fat, okay? So we need to get something clear here about the word fat. So fat can mean different things. We have fat, the macronutrient, just like fat, protein, carbs. Those are our 3 macronutrients. Then we have the word fat that we can use as an adjective to describe someone, like you're fat, okay? Now, those are 2 totally different ways that we can use the word fat, and they do not mean the same thing. In one case, we're talking about a nutrient. In another case, we're just making fun of somebody or describing someone. So when it comes to fat, the macronutrient, this is something that your body needs. Your body needs fat in order to survive. Your body's cells are actually made of fat, okay? So cutting fat out of your diet does not necessarily mean you're going to lose weight. And in some cases, if you cut too much fat out of your diet, you could die, or you could end up making yourself sick, all right? So when it comes to fat, it all comes down to the particular types of fat that you're eating. And when it comes to low fat and fat free dressing, the problem with this is fat is very satiating. And then fat is what lends food its flavor. Okay. Most of the flavor in your food is located in the fat. All right. So to better drive home this point, let's think about a thick, juicy steak. Okay, high protein, a lot of fat. Now let's compare that to some chunk-like tuna in water. Okay, drain off the water. High protein and not very juicy. Eat those 2. Which one of those 2 would you prefer to have for lunch? Okay, the thick, juicy steak or the dry tuna? Most of you are going to go for the steak, the thick, juicy steak that makes your mouth water. And the reason why your mouth is watering right now when you're thinking about the steak is because of the fat. That's where all the flavor is. And when you extract the fat from food, you're going to take away most of the flavor. Okay, so that's what happens in the case of fat-free or low-fat dressing. Manufacturers, when they extract that fat, they end up removing a ton of the flavor from the dressing, and they know this, and they say, okay, well, we got to do something to this fat-free or low-fat dressing in order for people to not want to spit it up the minute they eat it. what do? We got to flavor it with something. And one of the cheapest, most effective ways to flavor something in this country is to add sugar into it. Once again, we have big sweet tooths in this country, and manufacturers know this. So what they do is they extract the fat, but then they add in ingredients to give it flavor. And oftentimes the ingredients that are added into fat-free dressing, or the ingredient, is sugar. Okay, so now you've taken something that was relatively healthy with the fat, because not all fat is bad. I mean, olive oil is a fat and it's great. Coconut oil is a fat and it's great. But now you've taken out the fat, you've added in some sugar, and now you've taken something that's relatively healthy and you've made it liquid candy. And that's what people are sprinkling all over their salads. And they're wondering why, hey, I'm eating salads all day. Why am I not losing weight, or why am I getting fat from just eating salads all day? And it's because of your dressing. So when it comes to fat-free dressing, I say just nix it. Go with the full fat version. Pay attention to your portion control, count your calories, and you'll be perfectly fine. And honestly, the full fat dressing is going to taste a lot better for you, and it's going to keep you fuller longer than the sugar-filled fat-free version, because that's another benefit of fat, is that fat is very satiating. It helps you stay fuller longer. If you eat a high-fat meal, you'll notice that you'll be able to stay full for a longer period of time than if you eat something that has low fat in it. Okay, so fat is good for you. Do not fear the fat. Get your fat-filled dressing. Just pay attention to your calories and you will be fine. All right. And then our last diet food is diet soda. Okay. Now, diet soda has recently come under a lot of fire from just a health standpoint, not even from a diet standpoint, but from a health standpoint, because there's been studies that are possibly linking diet soda to things like cancer or neurological disorders. So diet soda is falling out of favor pretty rapidly. But if you haven't heard those things, then you may want to research that on your own. But the reason why I'm not a big fan of diet soda, in addition to that, is because diet soda, by virtue of how it's processed, okay, so in regular soda, we tend to have table sugar. That's what's used to flavor the regular soda. In the case of diet soda, they tend to use artificial sweeteners or sugar alternatives. And these sugar alternatives tend to be like 100, 200, sometimes 300 times sweeter than table sugar. Okay, so what typically happens with people who go from regular soda to diet sodas, let's say you have a person who is drinking 1 to 2 cans of regular soda a day. When they go to diet soda, what ends up happening is they end up drinking 3, 4, 5 cans a day. And the reason why this happens is because the diet soda, being that it's so much sweeter, it actually starts to train people to crave sweeter and sweeter foods. It trains your taste buds to want sweeter and sweeter foods. And then the foods that you once thought were sweet actually start to taste a bit bland to you, because now your tolerance for sweet has been altered. All right. So that's why people who go to diet soda end up drinking a lot more diet soda than they drank when they were drinking regular soda. So it's kind of crazy. And just because you're drinking 5 cans of diet soda doesn't mean you're doing any better than if you were drinking 2 cans of regular soda. So another thing that becomes problematic with diet soda is that in addition to the craving the sweet, people start to delude themselves and trick themselves into eating more. So what happens is you drink the diet soda, okay, and then you say, awesome, I didn't get any calories, I didn't get any sugar, this is dope. Now I can go maybe have this cookie here on the side because I have some extra calories to spare. Now, that cookie may turn into 2 cookies or 3 cookies or maybe a whole bag of cookies, but you are still rationalizing to yourself that you can have these foods because you didn't get any calories and sugar from the diet soda. Doesn't work that way. At the end of the day, you always want to make sure you are burning more calories than you're eating. And if you're training yourself to crave sweeter and sweeter foods, it's going to be harder for you to cut back on those junk foods or other foods that you end up substituting in because you're drinking diet soda and you think everything is all good. Okay. So that is the big thing with diet soda that you want to be careful about. And quite honestly, you know, if you ask me across these 4 foods, if there was one that I would absolutely knock off the list and I personally wouldn't drink or I personally wouldn't consume, then it would be the diet soda, because there's so many alternatives out there. Like I like fizzy stuff. So for you guys out there that want your fizz fix, there are tons of other beverages that you can drink. You can get flavored sparkling water that's flavored with like stevia or, you know, something. There's so many options out there other than diet soda that aren't going to have the chemicals and what have you that you can drink. So if you ask me, I would say diet soda is the food on this list that I would knock off if I wanted to eliminate the most problematic diet food, okay? So that's all I got for you guys today. Remember, at the end of the day, you want to read nutrition labels and the ingredients of your food, and you also want to make sure that you pay attention to your calories, okay? Because whether something is called diet or not, that doesn't mean that you can gorge on it, that you can just binge on it all day long, and by virtue of the fact that it's a diet food, that you'll end up losing weight by eating it. That's not how it works here, okay? So don't fall into that trap. So that's the whole purpose of this video. I hope you guys learned a ton from this. And that being said, I want you to jump down into the comment section. Did you find out something about a particular food that you're eating, or do you have any major brands or brands of yogurt, dressings or whatever that are really awesome, really healthy that you can share with me and your fellow viewers? Because maybe there's somebody out there who's looking for a yogurt and they don't know. I mean, there's so many options, and they would love a recommendation on what they should check out next time that they go grocery shopping. I would also like to know too, because I just love food. So if you guys can recommend something that I would love, by all means, drop it in the comments section. So that's it. I hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed this video. As always, I want you to exercise daily, eat healthy, stay awesome. I'm Dr. Phoenix, and I will see you in another episode. Peace.